You're listening to Heroes in the Moment. What's up, heroes? I'm Michael.
And I'm Nathan.
And today we're breaking down the brand new Joker FOLIE de DEUX trailer.
Come on now.
Oh, man. This
Pure
trailer,
cinema.
dude.
Cinema, man.
And I've been actually seeing a lot of mixed thoughts about this trailer. I'm sure you have as
I'm
well.
surprised, to be honest.
I'm fully for this. I think it'll be brilliant. I really do. I think it'll be a great movie. I think a lot of people's whole idea behind it, and they're like, "Oh, it's gonna be bad" or whatever, is this, that, or that, or didn't need a sequel.
Yeah.
Whatever, is because they heard it's a musical,
Mm-hmm.
and they're all like, "Oh, musical, blah 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 blah," and I'm like, Todd Phillips, Joaquin Phoenix, Lady Gaga, and you're gonna question what they're doing? That doesn't make sense.
And it's not like a straight up musical too.
No, it's
they say it's like a
jukebox.
jukebox musical, which
Right.
I don't know how much difference there is there.
Well, a
but-
jukebox musical just means that they're singing. There's no original songs. It's
Okay.
all
Got
songs
you.
from other things.
Yeah.
Is what a jukebox musical is.
Okay.
So in doing that means they're going to be singing recognizable hits.
I know.
And I'm
that-
going to
that-
assume it's go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I'm assuming it's going to be like 80s songs or something
Yeah.
like more ballad songs.
That helps with the setting because it grounds the realism, a little more, and
right.
It kind of brings you to earth. Hey, I know this song. Oh, this is where the setting was. This is what happens during this time.
And I think a lot of the songs and the music is, I wonder how it's going to play. Like, is it going to be in his mind, Joker's going to be like, well, comedy didn't work out, so I'm going to try music, or what? And is it going to be in his mind? Like, is he going to be singing, and is it going to be in his mind, similar to how like his good jokes were in his mind?
Yeah,
when people were
he's
laughing.
like, he thinks he's like a killer pianist.
Yeah,
but
and then he's like, oh no.
Yeah, it zooms up to like Lady Gaga's POV,
Yeah.
and he's just banging on it.
Yeah, he just, dude, and then she's
like
like,
a little kid. She's
yeah.
like, I'm Lady Gaga. All right, come on now.
Anyway, let's get into the trailer because I do think it looks incredible, and the shot visually looks amazing. So we open and we just see Arthur Fleck again, Joaquin Phoenix, skinny as ever, looking incredible for this role.
I feel bad for Phoenix, man. Like
eating an apple a day for
an
like
apple a day
days.
for the first one.
Yeah,
that's not healthy.
That's not healthy
He
at
is
all.
skinny as like a rail.
It's like, brother, there's other ways you could do this.
I know, but I know like that's their artistic choice is to make him. That he looks. What's the word? I can't remember the word.
I don't know.
I guess continue on, brother.
But it looks good. He looks back into his Joker
he
role.
looks the same. He looks so good.
And then he's in his cell, and the guards are like making fun of, like, "Hey, Fleck, you got a joke for us today? This, that, or the other." Making fun of what he did and what he used to as he's in Arkham Asylum.
Yeah, that would drive me crazy, man.
Oh,
he's already crazy, but
I know he's already thinking how he's going to kill these guys.
yeah, for sure.
So then it cuts to, we see Lady Gaga, who's in, and see, this is my thing. I mean, she's Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
But they're changing the story. She's a patient, seemingly, in this asylum as well, which, I mean, knowing the story of Harley Quinn and Joker and seeing her as this, she's a patient, she's this, that. I mean, maybe they'll spin it off and be like, he's imagining her as the patient when she's actually his therapist talking to him the whole time. And this is just what he's imagining because he thinks she's beautiful or whatever, and he likes her.
Yeah.
But I also feel like, is that too similar to the first movie where he created that whole illusion with that one girl as well?
Yeah, I think this is very interesting, and I think there's a lot of possible, ways this could go. Like you said in that first one, he imagines his whole relationship. So I see a couple of different ways that this could play out, and I think more people tend to be more mad at the Harley Quinn story than the musical aspect, at least from what I've seen.
I've seen a lot of people mad at that.
I think first of all, I think that's very likely that she is indeed his therapist, and he's kind of projecting her, as an inmate, kind of wishing, hey, I can, maybe have a better relationship with her if she's hearing me versus, when we're doing our sessions. I think that's possible. I think it's highly unlikely that she is just a regular patient. I think this might be like maybe a Shutter Island type of twist where one person is not who they say they are, or maybe she was used to be a therapist, but now she, after maybe she's already been turned by Joker, and they just haven't shown that part yet.
Yeah.
So I think that would be interesting. So to be honest, I'm not upset about this development because I do think that there's going to be a really big twist with it.
I think they're going to develop it and they're going to spin it off in a really cool way. I'm just curious to it. I'm
Yeah.
I'm not hindered. I think it'll be a good movie regardless
Mm-hmm.
if they do the change. But I'm also like, well, I would have loved to have seen the actual story.
And I understand that too. But at the same time, throughout comics and shows and movies, we've never known, Joker's identity, his
Right.
name really. They drop it in the Batman the animated series, but no one was complaining when Joker dropped, and we knew his, what he was doing as a comedian, how he was struggling, his name, and all that stuff. So I think it's a little hypocritical to criticize, a little liberty taken with Harley Quinn, and then
Right.
look back at what they did with the first Joker movie. Like, they're being consistent with the characters they've already made.
Right. And this is an
You know,
Elseworlds project. We
that's
have to
true.
keep that in mind. This is different world, different universe, not the same ones we know and love.
Like, I guarantee you, well, not guarantee, but Matt Reeves' versions, if he ever does them, will be much more closely
Much more.
aligned.
Yeah, it will be
with the source
but
material.
realistic at the same time.
Yeah.
So we'll see how they do it as well. So then we get music makes a man whole is the theme, and that's the theme of the trailers. It's like music and how music is about. Like the first theme was comedy, and it was a comedic tragedy, is what the first Joker movie was, and this seems like it's going to be a musical tragedy.
Okay.
Which is a really cool concept to explore.
It's just like A Star Is Born, but Bradley Cooper gets replaced with
with
Joaquin Phoenix.
Phoenix, and that's the story.
Yeah, because
and
that's
they're just going to
essentially a
sell it to
musical
you as a
tragedy
DC Joker movie. Who knows?
Yeah, so I wonder where the music will be coming from. Was she maybe a former musician, or did she learn that in the in the place? I don't know. I think that'd be interesting to explore.
I wonder, like, if they do the plot to where she's a psychiatrist, he's just creating this whole scenarios in his mind. But maybe like as a psychiatrist, she sings to him or something, and then he envisions all of this. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how they're
Okay.
gonna do it.
Or maybe like when he's in his therapy sessions, or maybe if he's in like a waiting room or something. I don't know how they work in jail, but if they have like some music like going through like the PA system.
Yeah, and then they're just like
It calms
music,
him
and then
down
he's
or
just
something.
like, he's imagining this
Yeah.
world or something. I don't know, but we'll see with that. And then we get him walking this really cool shot, walking through the rain with the different colored umbrellas, and just him standing in the middle without just enjoying the rain.
Yeah, I wonder where this takes place. Maybe it's a flashback. Maybe it's after he breaks
well,
out.
It looks like he's in Arkham, so I don't know. I mean, I guess if he's
All
taking
right.
him in, or maybe the first time he'd been there,
That's
or
true.
who knows what's going on. And then we get Harley Quinn in the real world, and she's just walking around. Here she looks relatively normal.
Yeah.
And then we get her as if she's a patient, making the reference back to the Joker movie with a bullet with a gun pointing to her head, and like boom, like as if they don't want to be there, don't want to be alive. Like that was a big theme in the first movie, how he just like pretending to kill himself, and how it was a big theme of him wanting to do that the entire movie, but instead choosing not to in the end and killing Murray.
That scene, man.
Oh, that's such a good scene, man. Man, I'll never forget watching that in the
That
theaters.
was Robert De Niro, right?
It was. I'll
That
never
was
forget watching
crazy,
that and just
man.
be like, oh, wow.
I know that on television.
Blew my mind.
Yeah, dude.
Then we get a shot of them two in the spotlight. Joker's got a microphone, and this you can just tell he's going to hit it.
looks
He's
so
going to be like,
good.
come with me. I don't know.
I'm excited to hear him sing.
I know.
I think
do you
he's gonna
think he
do
actually
awesome.
sung?
I think so.
I mean, knowing Joaquin, he's going to try.
I mean, dude, he is
He's
a
a legend.
top
He's
notch
talented.
actor. There's no way he wouldn't for his role.
No,
You
not at all. So he's back in the makeup in that moment. And then again, it's just showing a lot of like how the relationship is developing is what this trailer is kind of doing. It's showing how, he saw her first, at least what the trailer's showing us.
Okay.
He sees her. She's like, she looks really pretty.
Yeah.
And then to her, she's like, oh,
He's mysterious.
He's mysterious. I'm
Yeah.
interested in him. And then they're sitting together in this movie screening, and then she's sitting next to him and she touches him. She's like, you want to go away together? Or get out together. Now, here's what I think. Like, there's millions of different options I think Todd Phillips can do with this.
Yeah.
I think one, it could be the theory we were talking about. She's a therapist and he's creating this scenario in his mind.
Mm-hmm.
Another one is they use Harley Quinn as this character who's manipulating Arthur into getting her out. And some of that is also reiterated
That does
later
seem
in the
likely.
trailer.
Yeah.
Where you see he's in the prison, she's on the outside.
Yeah.
And they do the smile thing. That's also reiterated later. And then also, it's also shown later in the trailer when she points a gun at him.
Yeah.
So,
I think that's very possible.
yeah.
And that would be another cool twist too, rather than them both getting out, if she like takes advantage of him.
Yeah.
I think
But
that would ultimately lead to another movie.
It
though,
would
where he
also
he
really
breaks
change the
completely.
story. It would kind of make them switch places almost because in the original story, Joker manipulates Harley Quinn
Mm.
into this love to get him out,
Yeah.
essentially, and then she ends up going crazy over him and falling in love with him and going crazy,
Yeah.
and just doing whatever for him and turning into Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
But what if this is the opposite? What if she's the one manipulating him? What if she's the one, and then he ends up staying in prison and she's the one out, becoming the.
I would feel bad for him. Not like, I guess bad because he's a terrible guy. But like, imagine like the heartbreak and the tragedy he goes through in the first one. And if that takes place in the second one, I would assume it would lead to a final, maybe third one where it's just all hell breaks loose.
Right.
Like he's had his heart broken too many times.
And he finally
been
becomes
crushed. And he is just like, he has no emotions left.
Right.
What I'm really interested in is like the aspect of the music in this one. Because, you know, with comedy for the first one, that was kind of his dream. That was something that he was chasing. Part of me thinks that, you know, since we see Lady Gaga's character talking about how music can make a man whole, some of me wonders maybe what led her to be in that place. In the first place was maybe like a musical dispute. I was thinking maybe something along the lines of like maybe she used to be a professional musician, and maybe, you know, there's a musical dispute where she killed someone if they, you know, took one of her roles or gigs from her or something like that.
What if
and then she inspires him?
She has the same story. Like she wasn't, instead of being an aspiring comedian, she was an inspiring music artist or singer.
Yeah,
not very good, but mentally thinks she's good.
Okay,
and the people, you know, are like boo, but in her mind she's like woo.
Yeah,
and that's the same spiraling thing. She gets cast out. She does these bad things, and then that's how they kind of converge and arc them.
That would be cool.
Maybe that would be
I'm saying music has to be part of her backstory.
Oh yeah.
It just doesn't make sense like where it's coming from with him.
Right.
You know?
Right. I don't know. We'll see how they do it with that. So then we get this La La Land looking sequence where they look like they're getting ready to walk up at each other and start dancing, and he looks good. He looks incredible.
He looks so good.
He looks so perfect, and walking up, he's got the green hair and the makeup, and he's getting ready to hold on to her.
Yeah.
That looks like an incredible scene. And one thing I also want to think about the show is I wonder, like, you know, the first movie shows how he becomes and develops the persona of Joker, and gets his name Joker. I wonder if this movie, not only will it develop his love and music and all of these different themes that are going to pour into this movie, but I wonder if this is going to show him how he becomes the clown prince of crime, right? You know, in the first movie, he gets to become Joker.
Yeah, he's not. He gets the name, but he's not
a
him.
criminal yet.
Yeah.
But maybe this movie shows how he becomes him. I don't know, because we haven't necessarily seen that yet.
To be honest, from the trailer, I wasn't getting that vibe. I was getting the feel like it's more focused on their relationship and kind of her ascension. I felt like it was more about her ascension into Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
Especially with all, you know, the makeup and just how she was acting, more than him becoming the Joker that we know and love. Which is, going back to your theory, maybe she manipulates him. Like I said, I mean, Joker has no concept of right and wrong. You know, everything is chaos to him. So I think something like that would aid him in becoming that person that we know.
Sure. Okay.
You know?
Could very well be. And then we get another really cool scene of them after the La La Land looking dance scene. It shows them dancing in the street while it's raining with looks like fire trucks and a fire behind them. So I'm curious, maybe like that scene we saw with the blue lights and the, you know, they're dancing together is what's in their minds, and then that's reality.
Yeah.
They're dancing around this rain with fire around them.
They 100% just like set something on fire, committed arson, committed arson, and then
murder and
But I bet while they're doing it though, it was some beautiful like dance scene. And it, you know, cuts to reality.
Right. And then we get this really cool, unique scene, and that shows we're back in a TV studio, looking like almost like where the Murray Show was, the original Joker, and then it pops up on the stage, Joker and Harley. So really leaning, this is Joker, this is Harley Quinn, and showing that like they're really going into their names. So I'm wondering, like, is this in their head, or is this really the show they created? Yeah. Is all of this real? And then you just get like just something like, oh, this is cool. Like just him by the piano dance, like almost like a, what do you call it? Like what movie am I thinking of? Almost like Babylon, kind of like, and you got the jazz singers and the stuff in the background, and they're just the dun,
it's
dun,
extravagant. He's going crazy.
He's just dancing with the music and vibing, and it just feels very.
I don't think this is real. I think this has to be in their heads, because like if they already have a show and say like there's an audience and it's already
Right.
called Joker and Harley, unless they just like take over a studio
Could
and do that,
be.
which they very well could. That would be the Joker that we know and love. I
Right.
think they will save that near to the very end.
Yeah, and I mean, I
but
was
I'm not
looking
sure
at the
that's real.
images of the audience, and they're like dancing and cheering around. So it's not
See,
like they're scared.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Um,
if those guys are in front of me, I'd be a little scared. I think it's another one of those situations where they think that they're crushing it,
right.
but it's just in their
Right,
mind.
so it has Joker. He's vibing by the piano as if he's like,
Yeah.
it's almost like he's become like a penguin like character instead of Joker. Like he's
Yeah.
like the gangster. in the
Yeah, well,
club.
see, I don't know about Penguin comparison because like he doesn't have anyone really working under him, you know.
Not yet.
See, I don't see that happening. I see him just being just absolutely unhinged. Not as well thought out of or planned, you know, as other Jokers we've seen. But I think this version of Harley Quinn will just make him go crazy.
Yeah, could very well be. And then Harley Quinn, she's over there dancing in her side.
I'm excited to see her musical scenes.
I am excited
so
because I mean she's
excited.
talented. So
Yeah, she is crazy.
So we'll see what she does. Part of me hopes she does kind of get an original song. That way,
Yeah.
like, they can give her an original song to give.
She just started singing Bad Romance. And you're like, brother, this song wasn't
This doesn't fit
out in
the
80s."
vibe.
Yeah.
Start singing.
Yeah.
Was it Shallow?
Just shallow, yeah.
Shallow. Start singing Shallow.
Speaking of, man, I really think she has the second best Super Bowl performance of all time. I recently rewatched all of them. I think Prince has the best, but dude, her
You
performance.
watched all the Super Bowl
Yeah, I
performances?
did. I just wanted to, dude. They were bad, like when they first started. They were weird.
Yeah.
But man, Prince and her are like top tier, man.
Wow.
She killed it. She can dance and sing and play. She got it. So I'm excited to see her.
I am excited. So then we get Phoenix. The name pops up, and then you see him being dragged across the floor while laughing. Ooh, I'm curious.
Is that in the same place in that show?
It looks like he may be being pulled out of the club. So maybe Gaga was like, "I'm done with him. Get him out," or something in
Yeah.
that scene. And then he's just being laughing, and maybe like we don't know. I mean, one thing that was a big theme in the first Joker. Now this one is the laughing real, or is the laughing like he can't control it?
Yeah.
And there it seemed like it might be real. So I don't know. And then we have Harley Quinn in her uniform. She's got the red, the checkered, and the makeup,
Yeah.
which she looks incredible.
She looks really good, and it's distinguishable from Margot Robbie
Absolutely.
and other versions we've seen.
It is.
I like it.
It's distinguished. And then it shows her putting on Joker's makeup specifically, and then them dancing on the stairs together with people with clowns makeup and faces on and cheering them on. So like they do have supporters,
Yeah.
as if they do, and they did at the end. Well, Joker did at the end. Like people were wearing clowns and wanting to screw the patriarchy, screw the
Yeah.
hierarchy of power, all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The new hierarchy of power.
Yeah, just like the French people with their guillotines.
Yeah, they were like, off of the
Yeah,
head,
kill the aristocrats.
kill the aristocrats.
Yeah, that would be a terrible time if
that
you
would be
were
a terrible time.
rich.
So then just again, a bunch of different things going on there. You see another looking fictional dancing sequence with like her wearing a wedding gown almost and him wearing a groomsman suit, as if like he's imagining their wedding.
Yeah.
And then them in prison, them kissing. And then it cuts to him at a club hitting a guy with a chair. It's like, ooh, okay, so this is probably him being really angry about something. Another there.
Yeah.
We'll see.
I think the whole Joker and Harley show, I think it's very possible that like maybe by force they take over like a jazz club or something.
Yeah.
So
Well,
they start performing.
Based off this scene in particular, and it shows up Hotel Arkham. Maybe he took over a hotel. Took over the Arkham Hotel.
Yeah.
And that's where he's performing from.
maybe
on
like in a
stage.
ballroom or something.
Yeah, the
Okay.
ballroom. And then you see them dancing, and she looks like she's in a wedding gown and he's in a tux, dancing on the roof of Hotel Arkham. So
Dude, this is so interesting. I have no idea what's happening.
I don't either, but I'm loving it.
Yeah.
But it just looks really cool. All right. And then it looks like people are going crazy. People breaking TVs, arson. They're running from arson. She's putting on the makeup. Then you get the scene of him laughing in the rain, being tied up outside.
Yeah.
That was really cool. And that one's the one where it's like it's not real laugh. Like he can't help that.
Yeah.
Well, he can, but it's
So
mental.
you're saying which one's the real laugh? What did the people say?
Do what?
Well, like this theory about the laugh and stuff. Tell me about it.
So the laughing, like in the first movie,
Yeah.
where he can't control his laughter, and he just like in the most precarious situations, he just starts laughing, like
Yeah.
On the bus in the first movie, like when he's making those faces to the baby in front of him, she's laughing, and then she looks at him and she's like, "Quit messing with my kid," and then he just starts laughing like not on purpose, but she
Okay.
gives him his card like that. Like he can't help it, even though mentally he can probably. It's just him, how he copes with pain. So we get that look at that glimpse of the scene, and then some type of explosion, and then we get Lady Gaga, Harley Quinn pointing a gun at him. So again, that leads me into the theory of like, okay, she's maybe manipulating him or controlling him.
Well, I mean, they do like to spice up their relationship.
Yeah.
Like someone pointing the gun, the other one is by far not the craziest thing that they do with each other.
No, and who knows? It may be what they want. Like she may just be like,
see, and I didn't read too much into this because I didn't get the feeling like they were showing any types of conflict in the trailer between these two characters.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just kind of got the vibe that the whole gun thing was kind of in line with all the other things that they were doing.
It could be, but I don't know. And then you get her looking like she's putting red paint or red blood, like similar to what he did in the first movie, across her mouth to make a smile. In the club as well. And there's a lot of scenes from that like club area, Joker and Harley, and like you get him like dancing and again with the cigarette in his mouth, and
it's it's referencing those scenes in the same kind of club. So he's trying to be a comedian. I think it's just going to show that this man is crazy.
He nuts, and so does she.
Nuts, man.
And then you get the coolest shot of the trailer where Harley Quinn goes, "I want to see the real you," putting the lipstick on the glass between them, and to where he leans up and it makes a smile.
Yeah, he leans up, and then it cuts to him, and it's on his.
And it's on his
That
mouth.
That is one of the coolest shots I've seen.
One
in a
of
long
the coolest
time,
shots
man.
I've seen in a trailer. Absolutely,
Like, those are professionals. I would.
Like, who came up with that?
The smile morphs into his face.
Like, whose idea was that? Spoiler, it was actually ours.
That's cinema.
We put it in there.
I'm clapping when I see that.
Absolutely
scene.
clapping. Like, great scene.
Clapping, man.
And then again, though, it also shows, like, is that towards the end of the movie, like, they're between, she's on the outside now.
Yeah.
He's on the inside. Like, what's the context? So I'm really curious to see. And I figured I'll read a couple of these comments just to see how like some of these people are gauging.
Yeah.
So first comment goes, that lipstick on the glass at the end was just perfect. I agree.
Yep.
Whoever came up with the idea of the glass lipstick smile deserves a pay raise. It was just perfect.
Facts.
The trailer alone was worth waiting 5 years.
5 years, a long time.
A lot of people are complaining about this movie being a musical, but I don't think it's going to be a musical in the classical sense. I agree. Wouldn't even say this is a teaser. This is exactly what a trailer should be. Not too revealing, but giving just enough for people to get excited.
I agree with that one, yeah.
Whoever gave the idea of the last shot is a total genius. I agree once again.
Give that man a raise.
I love Todd Phillips. I agree.
I concur.
I'm trying to see. Most of these are really positive.
Yeah. I haven't, like you said, besides the musical thing and then Harley's origin story, I haven't heard many complaints about it.
This one says, I didn't want a Joker sequel because I thought it ended great, but this trailer looks pretty good.
Yeah. It's crazy, too, because this is Joaquin Phoenix's first ever sequel. Well,
yeah.
I think it's going to be in the Gladiator sequel. So I think he's breaking that thing, too. Because, he's reprising his role. I think it prompts a really, really, really early question. Is this man going to be in the run for another Oscar?
That's a really early question.
He won in 2019 with a fabulous performance, but I see no reason why he won't give the same level of performance, if not better, in this film.
See, that's one thing also in consideration. No actor has ever won an Oscar for doing the same role in a sequel.
And there's only a handful of guys that have won it, twice.
Right.
Or more.
Right. So nobody's ever done it playing the same character.
Yeah.
So
that would be, dude, if you won it, so I think there'll be politics
but also,
involved with
like,
the
what's the competition this year, though?
Like, the biggest movies, like Dune, they don't have performances, like this.
I mean, it'll win Oscars, but it won't win performing Oscars.
I really think and I think Lady Gaga, from what I've seen so far,
Lady Gaga,
her name will be in the
I think she may win Best Actress for this. I really do.
She's going to be up there, man.
I think her name will be mentioned. She may just win Best Actress.
Dude, Joaquin winning it would be crazy. For a sequel to the movie he already won it for. I don't know. Maybe they won't do it because they'll be like, we've already seen this before. But I don't know. His performance will at least, be in that discussion.
If I had to say, based off what I know from the Oscars and the politics involved with Oscars, is that they won't give they just won't do it. I don't believe them giving the same, like, again, because we've seen it before. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
I see them going more for a different performance, potential nomination, But I do think the conversation looks more to be in the favor of Lady Gaga in Best Actress. I don't think it'd even be Best Supporting. I think it'd qualify for Best Actress.
You think so?
I think that would fall in line with Best Actress, and I do think the conversation for that is definitely possible.
Yeah.
Depending on how well she does it. So we'll see. We'll see. All I know is, to me, this trailer looks incredible.
It looks so good.
And who knows? This could be the best movie of this year.
I think it very well could. And man, in Todd Phillips we trust.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Thank y'all so much for listening to this episode. If y'all liked it, just let us know by giving us a 5-star review and a download. We have a new segment at the end of our weekly news called Heroes Q&A. So all you have to do is just shoot us a question in our DMs or our Instagram comments, and we'll answer them at the end of our weekly episodes. And then if you want exclusive access to episodes, which includes additional movie reviews that are outside of what we normally talk about, and early access to all of our episodes, feel free to subscribe to our membership, Heroes HQ. Then lastly, if you want to stay up to date with our new episodes and announcements, check out our Instagram, Heroes in the Moment.
And we just want to thank y'all for listening. And as always, we love you 3000.